Okay, let's, how about if we get this party started tonight? Good evening and welcome to the 2026 State of the City. I really want to thank all of you for being here tonight. We got a lot of cool things here this evening to kind of keep you up to date on, and so we'll get to that fairly quick. But first, I wanted to introduce some people here, and especially our city council, who's sitting right here in the front row. These people, the time and the effort that they put in as council members is a lot more than maybe what you anticipate. And I think someone would even agree to that sitting here tonight. But the jobs they do to set the course of what we do as an administration to carry out the plan is exceptional. And tonight, unfortunately, our president of council, Scott Hunter, is in Japan right now, and which is awesome, an awesome opportunity for him. And so he'll be back, but couldn't be here tonight. We do have our Vice President of City Council, Donald Berger, right here. Donald, stand up. Thank you. We have Mark Reams, Kelsey Takich, Kathy Young, Zach Bordner, and Stephen Wolf. And I want to personally thank you guys for the work that you do and your commitment to this community. It's off the charts, you guys. Sometimes I think you'll understand, sometimes their passion is tough to handle. But the passion is there, and I think they would all agree to that. They have wonderful passion for this community, and that's why this community is excelling today. I'm going to have a hard time naming, but if you're one of our executive staff members that works with us day in and day out, can you please stand? Or if you're a city employee, stand if you can. Come on, chiefs. Let's lead by example. There you go. Can we give these guys an applause for the work that they do? So, a wonderful, wonderful group. It's a wonderful group to work with. I didn't mention the clerk of City Council, who has to tolerate all these people. Mackenzie Proudfoot's back in the back there. Mackenzie, we do have a seat for you up here if you want to take it. So there you go. I'm going to forget others. I know Morpsey's in the house. Eileen Luby, where are you? Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission's in the house tonight. I do know the city of Dublin just walked in. So the city manager of Dublin, Megan O'Callahan, just walked in. So we have great partnerships with the city of Dublin, Union County. Where's Bill Narducci? There's Bill. Okay. You know, we formed the 33 Corridor Council of Governments, and it's a wonderful group, but it's very important that we all work together. And I appreciate both Bill and Megan being here tonight. Okay, without any further ado, we'll start the State of the City off with a video. So enjoy the video, and then we'll be right back up. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight at our 2026 State of the City event. We're excited to share some highlights of 2025 and discuss opportunities and challenges that lie ahead for our community.
Financially, 2025 was a successful year for the city. Thanks to our diverse economy, income taxes and other revenues continue to grow well above inflation. In our governmental operating funds, the cash position decreased by 30%. This was due to major investments in road projects, paying down debt, and strengthening our capital reserve fund, funded largely by sales of land in Innovation Park. Income tax collections totaled $28.1 million, up 2.88% from 2024. Adjusting for a one-time receipt last year, the true year-over-year increase was 7%, driven by job growth, higher wages, and more residents moving into the community. Looking ahead, our challenge remains expanding the income tax base through residential growth and economic development. We're investing heavily in infrastructure, especially roads and intersections, using Ohio grants and TIF funds from new commercial development. These efforts allow us to support growth while continuing to fund vital services like police and fire. The city remains committed to maintaining a balanced budget and strong financial position as we move forward.
The city successfully completed the installation of our second roundabout at the intersection of Coleman's Crossing Boulevard and Industrial Parkway. This project was designed to improve traffic flow and safety at one of our busier intersections. The transition to a roundabout offers significant long-term benefits for our community. Unlike traditional intersections, roundabouts naturally reduce vehicle speeds while maintaining a continuous flow of traffic, which significantly lowers the risk of high-speed collisions. The West Fifth Street Improvements Project refreshed and enhanced the stretch of West Fifth Street between Grove Street and Maple Street. Based on the feedback and input from residents, several traffic calming features were incorporated to slow down vehicles and make the area feel more like a neighborhood street. By adding curb bump outs and narrowing the travel lanes, we were able to shorten crossing distances for pedestrians and encourage drivers to maintain safer speeds. The Reservoir Connector Trail Phase 2 project successfully connected the missing link between the Jim Simmons Trail and the Reservoir Trail. Building upon Phase 1, which constructed a pedestrian bridge over Mill Creek, this phase eliminated a significant barrier by installing a pedestrian crossing at Raymond Road and a concrete staircase up to the Reservoir Trail. By creating a connected non-vehicular route, the project offers residents a safe and scenic environment for walking, running, and cycling.
The City of Marysville and Main Street Marysville collaborated on the Uptown Traffic Cabinet Art Boxes project, transforming 9 utility boxes into vibrant historical displays. Under the theme, If the Past Was Present, local artists used archived photographs to reimagine Marysville's landmark buildings, blending history with contemporary art. This project revitalizes the district while engaging residents and visitors with the city's rich legacy.
In closing, I want to express my gratitude to all of our city employees for their contributions to our city's success. Also, thank you to our City Council for setting the goals and objectives we strive to achieve. Let's continue to collaborate and innovate, ensuring a prosperous future for all of our residents. Just nice to put something like that together. It just gives you a general overview. Obviously, so much more takes place, but that's a good start right there. Now, the rest of the evening, we're going to have a series of interviews, and we're very fortunate this evening to be able to host our State of the City here at the Honda Marysville dealership, and I'd like to ask a friend of mine, a true friend of mine, Bruce Daniels, if he'll join me up here tonight so we can talk a little bit. Is that okay, Bruce? I don't think a whole lot of introduction needs to be done with you tonight, but I just can't thank you enough for what you do to our community and how much you've helped this community.
Absolutely. I can't say enough about the same, I guess, what happened to us. So
let's go there a little bit.
Okay.
So remind me, what did the startup in Marysville look like when you opened 21 years ago?
Great. And you said 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So for all three of these questions.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll roll through it here. 21 years ago, actually was a soybean field 21 years ago. And while we were building this store, in fact, it looked a lot like the Acura store does now, the future Acura store. And the first place that I went was downtown and met Eric Phillips and a handful of others and joined the Chamber of Commerce. Thankfully, they had me, right? So I had a few, while we were building the building, I had a few hours to kill, not a lot, but a few. And I just remember the sense of community I had, but also wanted to find out what the priorities were and what was important to the community. It was crazy because uptown revitalization. By the way, if I could have said this video, if I could have saw that 21 years ago, I would have freaked, right? Or if I'd seen this too. But what was important, and I got a seat on the board, was the community and how they treated people within the community, A to Z. And so, to tell you answer your question, 21 years ago, again, Coleman Crossing was a soybean field. The skate park, if you guys remember that, anybody remember the skate park where Applebee's is? That was caving in. The whole building was caving in. And there was no entrance to Coleman's Crossing. And the uptown, I won't make any comments, but I'll just say this: it looks a lot better today than it did then. So there's your 21 years ago. And I was younger then too.
So tell me a little bit about this Acura dealership. How that evolved? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, most of you that know me for a long time, we've been working on that for probably 17 or 18 years. And it was always planned to bring Acura into Marysville, but it was not easy. In fact, it was hard. So luckily, about 2 years ago, we invested $5 million to bring it out of Marion. That cost you asked me about the investment. It was $5 to get it out of Marion and get Acura and Honda to move it here. And then the facility we're getting ready to build over here is probably a little overkill, to be quite frank with you. I think you'd be very proud of it. I might be a little scared of it, right, Jeff? But it'll be beautiful. It'll be nicer than any Lexus or Mercedes or BMW dealership that you see around. And we're just a little under $11 million there. And put that in perspective, which I never would have guessed, when we built the first version of Honda Marysville, before we put 3 additions onto it, thanks to all of our customers, it was $2.7 million total investment. Put that in perspective. And I think this edition was like $10 million too. So I'm just trying to keep up, right? Just with everybody. But Does that answer your question on that?
I think you answer it. I mean, it's something you've been seeking for a long time. It took the investment. That's a lot what we want to talk about is the importance of people like you in our community that are willing to give to the community like you do.
Yeah, I think that's a bigger story, way bigger than how much we would invest in facilities or employment or whatever. Those are all very, very important things, I feel. Obviously, you want to have the state-of-the-art facilities, which we intend to do, and people and the way you serve and as far as a business. But I think what's more important than that, we always talk about to our associates about what we do, right? We sell and we service cars. That's what we do. But that's not really who we are. And I think that's more important than the selling and servicing of automobiles, believe it or not, right? Yeah, that does put the hay in the wagon and allows us to make those funds so that we can give back, because you can't give back what you don't have, right? But what's more important than that is to see things that are more significant than the building you're sitting in or that new Acura store that's going to look pretty. And to me, it's things like the uptown revitalization when they asked us to look at that. So the first thing that we did, as you guys know, is Leon's, right? Because people really enjoyed a place that they could go. They said they would like live music. They said that was important to them in a sense to gather and place to gather. I remember Benny's has always been a great place. I remember that being so much fun for all of us. Even when we had a big month, we'd go over to Benny's and we'd listen to music. But they wanted to revitalize the uptown. So that was kind of square one. And it was an old Napa auto parts store with a gravel parking lot, if you remember that. And by the way, House of Spirits will be back. Don't freak out. Or just kind of retooling a little bit. It'll be back. So, but anyway, the next thing, and I think even way more significant than that, was, thanks to Dennis Schultz and many others, was Avalon Theater. I don't know if you guys remember the canary yellow piece of crap building down on Main Street. I mean, this thing looked like it was going to like cave in. And I think it did while we were building it too. I think it fell apart. But anyway, this building was a total piece of garbage, right? But the thing about the Avalon was you could talk to anybody. I wasn't from Marysville. I was from Cincinnati, Ohio, right? So I'm kind of the foreigner coming in. I feel like a little better now. It's 22 years. I'm not a total foreigner. I feel like I'm part of the fabric. But anybody you would talk to that had a family here and generations of family would talk about the Avalon Theater and what it used to be back in the 20s and the 30s and so on and so forth. And it was a cultural arts center too. I just didn't put that on there with my dad's last name. It used to be a cultural thing. And then we had movies where you could see the families going in and out, going to the movies and doing the different things. And their smiles on their faces were like huge. And you guys know we're into the smiley face, right? We're into all that stuff. Won't go there. But the community was such a huge, huge importance to them to have that. So we rallied with many other business investors in the local community, collaborated, got together. And I think that the Avalon Theater, is Ryan in here somewhere? There he is right back there. Did you guys know that this year there are 215 shows to be done at our Avalon Theater, thanks to Liz and to Ryan back there, right? A lot of times people don't know that. Did you also know that we give a crap a lot how we're rated in the car business? Well, let me give you a better one than that, right? Like reviews and stuff. If you go check out, is it Google and all that stuff? I don't know where you fish all that stuff out. It's got a slew of 5-star reviews on the Avalon from just this past weekend, right? I mean, to me, yes, selling and servicing cars is really important, and we had a good Saturday too, but it's not as important as that. That's what makes the difference. And if you look at Leon's isn't the most, I'm glad they're in the car business and not all restaurants, right? But we have 71 live music bands that will show up there this year, right? And some other stuff that we do. You start mixing that with the Bennies of the world and the Happenstance of the world and all the other businesses. I'm going to leave a bunch of them out, but that's what that's what starts to make it all work, right?
You're exactly right. And you know, in the next segment, you're going to hear about the importance of investments, the importance of investments.
I have to take 5 more minutes or 3.
Do it.
Here's, because I had one more to tell you about. The other one I was going to tell you about is Impact Station. Impact Station was kind of I don't know if say controversial or mixed emotions or opinions, right?
Impact 60, though. Tell them about Impact 60.
Well, I can't because it'll take like a half an hour. But Impact 60 is you guys know, it's our 501c3. It's our who we are world of giving back. Won't get into that. But it is very much that's where the Impact Station came from. Here's the thing. A lot of times, you know, people, maybe once in your life, like my life, compassion was good, but not one of the most important things on your day-to-day radar screen of what to do, right? I would suggest that maybe whatever we do when we leave this room tonight is maybe thinking about the benefits that you can have and receive by being compassionate out, right? So we did this Impact Station, and Impact Station, just to give you an idea, it's got 28 rooms over there. We didn't have a homeless or like you said, solution, right, before. And sometimes people say, well, we don't need that here or want that here, or whatever. Well, let me not go there. But we brought it here. And Lavana C. is one of the most special people in my life because she leads Impact 60, and she led the charge on that, right? And we've had challenges with it, but here's the thing. It's got 28 rooms in it, and guess just alone how many meals we gave to people and fed last year. Impact 60 did. 31,000. And she invited me to the Christmas, yeah, that's because of her. She invited me to the Christmas party, right? And sometimes I don't make it to all the events, right, Jeff? Like shit, I forgot about that. It's on the calendar and I blew it again. But anyway, I'm like, okay, yeah, I got to get over there, check it out. Got some other stuff to do, but I got to check it out. So I go over there. I promise to shut up. I go over there, right? And the families are there. And you say, well, families, yeah, kids. 8 years old, 10 years old, 13 years old. Some of them high-five me over there. We're having Christmas dinner, 14, 17 years old. See, the thing is what freaked me out was they said there's homeless families in Union County. It was like 2 years ago, something like that, 3 years ago, I don't even remember. But they said there's kids. I don't know about you, when you got triplets, you're aware of kids, right? But I couldn't imagine as many things as we complain about sometimes at the Daniels household being out in the cold or hungry isn't one of them, right? So I'm really proud of that. And a lot of people in this community got behind us and made Impact Station happen. They got behind us. A lot of you in this room got behind us and made the Avalon happen. So yeah, we'll be known for, what are we, the 6th largest Honda store in the U.S. right now, kicking butt, taking names, and that'll be number 1 when it's done. That one right there. You can count on us getting number 1 in the United States in 2 years. But let me share with you something. I promise to shut up. You're good. It will not be anywhere near the most significant thing we will ever do, and we're just getting started, right? In the community, and I know a lot of people in this room, how important the community is to you, and I appreciate that because I'm the recipient, I'm the benefactor of being a better person because I moved to Union County, Ohio, and set up shop here. Does that sound pretty good?
That is awesome. How about thanking Bruce? You can just set it down. Thanks to Bruce for kicking off our State of the City tonight and hosting our event. So Bruce, thank you very, very much. But it's a great lead-in to our next panel group, and I'm going to ask for our Vice President of City Council, Donald Berger, Ed Michelson and Carmine Russo, Realm Collaborative, who have helped put together a vision plan for the city. Let me shift this over. A vision plan for the city, and they're going to tell you a little bit about it again in the next 15 minutes. So you guys, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. I'm so happy to see so many familiar faces and so many community members that have been engaged this evening and want to be a part of it. As everybody knows, Marysville is going through change, and change sometimes can scare others and excite others. And the reality is this council, and myself and Mark Reams, I guess I will say we're kind of the old ones on, maybe Mark a little bit older than me, but who's counting? But I will say that I'm so proud of the council we have because I'm proud of the community that voted for them. This council is more engaged, more in depth, more involved in day-to-day operations than what I've previously had. And not because that council didn't care, it's just the needs of the community has changed. And we're adapting to that change. And coming from that adapting, we put our money where our mouths were, and we listen to our constituents, and we are trying to develop a plan that includes all of you and tries not to leave any of you out. So before we get started, I just wanted to say, good evening. Your council is dedicated to your voice. You created a community vision, and it has been executed by council. Let me remind you all that more people have participated in the community visioning plan than did in our comprehensive plan. Together, we celebrate the opportunity for you to have a voice. For too long, City Hall made too many promises to developers. Now your council is making a commitment to fulfill your wish to protect who we are. We will be involved, and you will too, until the end. This council will not allow this plan to remove your voice. Thank you for showing up, engaging, and doing so in a meaningful way. So in starting that, I want to welcome the both of you and thank you for what you have done and engaged in our constituents. And so many residents have spoke very positively about the plan and what you guys have done so far. So the first question is, why is the community vision for Marysville so important?
Okay, this is working. I guess I'm taking that one. That's what it says right here. Because Marysville isn't just any town. It's not. We just happen to be in the fastest growing county in Ohio. There's only like 8 growing counties in Ohio, and by percentage, we're number 1. There's a tremendous amount of potential here. Growth is coming, and this is an opportunity to shape that growth. And what I really appreciate is the engagement that we've had with the community and the consistent messaging that we've been getting from everyone as we've gone to Uptown Friday nights, as we've had different sessions where we've invited people to come. We've asked questions, shown images, and have gotten a tremendous amount of input from everyone. And there's been a lot of consistency in that. Bruce, you talked a lot about investment and private investment. This is an investment. The vision plan is an investment for the future. One of the cities that we went and visited was Holland, Michigan. They did a vision plan 30 years ago. And since that time, there's been $700 million in investment up there. And you think Holland was always like great and wonderful if you've ever been there. It wasn't. They had gang violence and all kinds of problems back in the day, and they used to fight against each other. And you look at where they're at now, and it's all because they had a vision, they've stuck to the vision, and the people to this day can recite it, what it is that they're about. So I think that's very important. For me personally, this is a very personal thing. I've been in part of Marysville community since 1997 when I brought my family here from Western New York. And my children are here, my grandchildren are here, so this is special for me. And what I think about and what I talk about all the time is how can we maximize our potential? And that's really what it's about. There's a lot of good things going on. Terry, there's a long list of things that we shared at our last presentation. But there's also a lot of things that we can do more, and I think community engagement is going to be something that's going to be vital. I brought up a number of times how the vision plan isn't an answer. It's got a lot of ideas. They're all based on community input, and it's to provoke more conversation, and that has to go on and on and on through the next 20, 25 years to actually see the vision realized. It's about quality of environments. We talk about this all the time, how important the quality of environments are to quality of life. And right now, there's some good things about Marysville, but there's so much more potential. So many people said there's not enough things to do here. We hear that from young children. We hear that from high school people. We hear from every demographic. There's not enough to do here. So that's another thing. And also, people want walkability and those kinds of things. They don't just want car-oriented development to continue. And so a big part of what we're trying to do is get ahead of things. Can we have a vision and be able to share that with people as new development comes in and saying, okay, we're interested to know what your proposal is, but let us tell you what our vision is. And then let's have a conversation that way. So the vision is to help that too.
Thank you.
Yes.
So Carmine, for your question is, what was the process for developing the vision plan for Marysville?
Yeah. So I think first, the most important thing, we needed to develop a really good team, and a team that included members of council and also members of staff. So again, I just want to thank, as Kyle, Ashley, and Terry, members from administrative side of things, Councilman Berger and Scott Hunter, as well as former Councilwoman Julie Kramer, who was on our team, and as well as Inga with Union County Economic Development, because again, this is not just about a pretty picture, it's about investment. And as Ed talked about, as we learned in Holland, that was an important part of our first phase, which was our discovery phase, was, let's look at a peer city and let's start to really understand and unpack what it takes after 30 years to get to that investment. And it started with that vision and this culture of collaboration between the private sector and the public sector. So in our discovery phase, we really spent a lot of time understanding the problem, understanding the place. We didn't want to take one person's word for it. So we wanted to engage residents, and we wanted to talk to community groups and understand, what are the issues? What could be potential solutions? So that discovery phase went for about 6 months. We did a lot of focus group conversations, public meetings, asked a lot of questions, and did some discovery work. Then we followed that up with phase 2, which was the visioning phase, which just wrapped up and was before council last Monday night, if you were there, to see that get approved by council. And that phase was really the phase where we started to discuss ideas, potential solutions, bring those ideas before the public, test things. It's easy to draw something on paper and just throw it away, right? It's not like we're going to build everything that you see. And so what were the ideas that started to rise to the top? What was important for people? And what could we paint as a picture for that? So a lot of the images you see and some of the graphics we developed, what does that future look like? And again, as we keep saying, it may not all get built that way in 30 years, but you have a high bar now to shoot for. And that's really important. So I think that a lot of that has been shaped all together through these groups and through meetings just like this. So we're really proud of that work and what we've done with the community so far.
Thank you. Ed, I'm going back to you now.
Yes.
What ideas or future development opportunities has risen to the top?
Okay, so some of you hopefully have been able to take a look at the phase 1 and phase 2 books. And if you haven't, they're online, they're on the website. A tremendous amount of content there that, again, was gleaned from all these conversations and from the leadership, city council, our core team, and everyone involved. From that, there were 12 emerging ideas, and I won't recite those, and they're not behind me right now. So 12 emerging ideas, but they have to do with things like walkability. We're a very car-centric city, and we do have pathways. We've got the Jim Simmons and some of those kinds of things, but we don't have nearly enough connectivity, and everybody has to pretty much get in their car and go anywhere. The idea of mixed use and development versus car-oriented development is kind of a shift. And right now, we're pretty much a community that's a lot of single family, a lot of apartments, and there's not a lot of other options. And I think as you look at other communities across the country, there are other options. Affordability comes up a lot, but also we don't have a lot of executive housing either. So it's not just affordable housing that's important, but there's a range of things that we can be looking at to the future. So we have those 12 emerging ideas. The priority that came out, there's 3 areas that we really identified in what we called a framework plan. And if you go to the book, you'll see this, a framework plan. I always talk about it being a circle, a bar, and a squiggle, which sounds kind of strange, but if you see the diagram, you'll get it. So the circle is uptown. Uptown is the focus. It's number one. From all of our discussions, everything we've talked about, we realize that Uptown has good bones. They're good buildings, historic buildings, which are amazing. People come here and people talk about it. I've brought people here that have not been to Marysville and they love the Uptown. Look at these, look at the architecture we've got. But it's very small, right? But it's still important. So expanding and making that Uptown vibrant is a focus. The second thing is the Main Street corridor. And when we talk about the Main Street corridor, it generally starts from 33, goes all the way down to the hospital. If you just think of that corridor, there's a lot of potential there in the longer term. And I won't go into the details of that, but again, for more discussion. And the third thing is the Mill Creek corridor. We don't have a lake, we don't have a beach, but we do have a greenway going right through the middle of our city. And can we leverage that as, in a sense, in planning terms, we talk about beachfront. People want to live on green spaces. If you go to Quarry Trails, for instance, in Columbus, it's a recent development. That was a quarry, and they've turned it into a metro park, and now there's major development going on there, right next to that. It's next to a green space. People want to live next to it. So we have this potential. What we've kind of been able to find are some of these opportunities that just haven't been tapped into yet, and process being, we want to have more conversations about those areas and start to focus. It's a little bit more about priority is more inward focused than outward. But as we look to the future, to 2050, the city's going to grow to 14 or 15,000 more people. Where are they going to go? They're going to go somewhere. And what we're suggesting from conversations that we need to focus, we need to do both, but we need to focus inward and then ultimately outward. So the last thing I'll say is future development should be in context with the vision principles. And so what you'll find is there's a vision statement, a mission statement, some core values, those kinds of things. And no matter what goes on or everything is dynamic, right? I mean, this vision plan is, again, as I say, provocative. But the principles and the vision and the mission need to be consistent.
Thank you very much. Last question is, what are the next steps, Carmine, towards implementing this visioning plan?
Yeah, so there's a number of steps, and we're currently working with staff and trying to help walk through these together. But first, and certainly probably the most important, is the public-private partnership. None of this happens alone, right? And that collaboration, again, like we learned about in Holland, we had a workshop that's right behind City Hall where we had a lot of the people from our core groups coming in, but we also had people like Bruce and others from the private sector and development community to see some of these ideas and get input and start to understand, what's feasible. It's really about how we collaborate together. So that's a big part of this, is how do you continue to engage? Secondly, we're starting to work on ideas about how to implement zoning update, comprehensive plan work, starting to think about how you can develop standards and guidelines so it's clear not just to people that live in the city, but also to people that want to develop here. What are those standards? How do we set those benchmarks? It's really important to establish those. Examining like the staffing. I mean, we looked at peer communities and learned that, to really increase standards and really start to think about how you implement projects like some of the things we show in the vision, there needs to be an adequate number and the right mix of staff. So thinking about how you can sort of staff up in a way and think about how that looks like for you all in the future is really important. And last and certainly not least, the community conversations that we started as part of this plan really should never end. And it's really essential as you start to think about what's the future of anything look like. Continue to engage residents and continue to engage the public and private sector and have these conversations in a very cordial way. And hopefully the workshop that we've built serves for you in the future as a place to have those kinds of conversations. But I think that's about all the high points.
Okay. The last thing I'll say is, and I want you to agree or disagree with this statement, but I would say that it used to be, the thought process for a city used to be, you measure your city's success on how much you've grown. In today's time, you don't measure your cities on how much you've grown, you measure your city on how much you've protected. You measure them on how much you protect people and you create community. And I think that is where the world is headed. The next 100 years of growth is no longer how far out I can grow, but it's what I can protect. Everybody will always tell you, well, Donald, There's another 100-year-old home somewhere else. There's another 200-year-old oak tree somewhere else. There's another piece of cornfield somewhere else. Someday it's all going to be gone. Do we want a community that has vast amounts of housing and roads? Or do you want an uptown, a historical district, a community that welcomes you, that preserves your small business, that advocates for that historical home, that preserves that open space? This is the future of our community, and this is what the discussion needs to be spoken about. And I will say that this council is doing everything in its power to listen, to hear, and to act, and just give patience and time to all of us in office, because we're trying to do the best we can. Do you have any more final comments?
No, I'd just like to say thank you, Terry, for this opportunity to share tonight. And I just encourage you all, get involved, stay involved. We want to hear your voices, and that's what's going to make the future great here. Thanks.
How about a round of applause to this group? And it was an awesome experience. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you can set that right there. Wow, very good. Now we have an opportunity to shift a little bit. And if you recall last year at the State of the City, one of our points of emphasis was passing a school levy. And we were able to get that done. The community was able to get that done. And then soon thereafter, one of the big decisions the school board had to make was hiring the next superintendent of Marysville Schools. And tonight, I'd like to bring forward Dr. Howard, and good to have you here tonight. And I thought I'd put him on the spot on some questions here tonight. So how you doing?
Great, and looking forward to it, and thanks for the invitation. And if I can,
Yep.
When it comes to collaborating with the district and the city, the night that I was introduced and formally assigned the superintendent position for the district, the entire city council was there. You were, Terry. Right off the bat, I understood I was walking into a strong community that wanted to see everybody succeed. So it meant a lot to me, and even being here tonight, I appreciate it.
It's great to have you here. And I've got a couple questions I'm going to ask you tonight real quick. And what are you most proud of in the Marysville schools over the past year?
Well, there's a lot of things. I might be a little biased, but as a superintendent, I'm very proud of the school district. I'm very proud to have grown up here. And it gave me a wonderful education and a platform. And so it's really important to serve in a manner that continues that for people that come behind us. But some of the things that really stood out, it's getting to know the students. There's always a relentless focus on the students, and relationships matter. So getting into the buildings has been fantastic. I'll tout, we've got great student leadership. Examples, things that come to mind is FFA. I had a chance to attend the national convention, and just getting to be able to spend a day with the student leaders and get to know them well. I just walked away so proud of who they are as young people, and really wish everybody, parents, non-parents, I wish everybody could interact with kids the way I have and see that we're in good hands. This next generation is going to do great things. I see Brandy here from the United Way. One of the things we hosted a kitchen table talk that was part of a United Way event. And so that's something that stood out in this first year. It was a great opportunity to meet with a lot of students and staff, but mainly the students from both high school campuses. Something else I'd like to tout is just the community engagement. I talked about early on the signal that was received by me early on when I came on, but the Memorial Hospital, Richwood Bank, Impact 60. Bruce, I've been gone for 30 years. I graduated in 1995. I know I don't look like I'm that old. But I've had the opportunity to kind of get really reacclimated with the community and living here again. And I know that these partnerships have really moved the needle for our district. So we're very grateful for that. And then the last thing I would just say is student achievement certainly matters. And that, we exist to make sure we're preparing kids for what comes next. But relationships matter as well, and connecting with people, and then instilling pride in the community is something I'm really passionate about.
Awesome. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Let me keep moving here. We've seen a renewed sense of school and community pride this year. Can you talk about how events like homecoming are becoming more of a citywide celebration?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that is really important to me is that we have to understand that we are supported by the community. And so how we lead and the experiences we provide for our kids, it's important that they give back to the community that supports them. And so one of the things that was really unique this year is attending the homecoming parade. And I really felt like I was a kid again back in 1995. I remember what it was like to be part of, the youth, the teams, and walking along the parade, looking up to the older kids and the varsity teams, the floats. We put together a committee. Kelsey, I know you were very instrumental in that too, and we brought in small business perspective, and it was really neat. When I was a kid, something I took a lot of pride in was that there were paw prints on the city streets. There were banners during homecoming week. The storefronts allowed the windows to be painted by students. And so those are things that I think just helps remind everybody, whether we have parents or whether we are parents of kids in the district or not, we're all monarchs here. And I want to, do whatever we can to reinstill that pride. And then the last thing I would say about this is, I look at the school being a connector for the community, not just a system. If you will, we're kind of like the hub of the wheel. It's not saying we're most important, but we have the opportunity to make a lot of connections within the community. And I think it's up to us to make sure that we're doing well by the opportunities we have to do just that.
Thank you again. Marysville's junior ROTC program has gained a lot of positive attention. Why is that program so important to the district and to the community?
Well, I think first and foremost, that program helps with leadership attributes, the importance of service back to the community. Certainly, it helps with citizenship and understanding what it means to give back into the community. Growing up, Marysville has always been, I believe, patriotic community. It helped instill a love for citizenship for me, and I think that JROTC has a great opportunity to do that too. The other thing is the JROT has the ability to connect the school to specific entities like the VFW, American Legion. And so when you think about the color guard and the opportunities through JROTC where our kids can get out to businesses, be part of events, like maybe next year for the state of the city, color guard for the JROT could come be a part of that. But I think personally why I'm most excited about it is that what we need to do is we need to create opportunities for kids to be successful, pathways, allow them the opportunity to find their tribe. And JROTC is, a lot of people think that it's a military recruitment tool. It's not. It can be that, and it can help kids understand what military careers may be available to them. But what it is it's another opportunity for kids to be a part of something that maybe is bigger than themselves and have a sense of belonging. And so we're really excited about that. The other thing is certainly we need to be efficient with how we spend tax dollars. And one of the things that is great about that is the government will help subsidize half of the instructor's cost for that. So that was really a no-brainer as far as bringing in this pathway at the high school that we think can benefit a lot of our students. And recently, there's been legislation proposed where JROTC will actually become a recognized graduation pathway, as well as having funding provided as part of a CTE program. So it is really just a win-win across the board, and we're excited for it.
Fantastic. You've talked often about relationships being at the heart of strong schools. What does that look like in practice across the district?
Well, I think it's about being intentional about your visibility, trying to find ways for people to connect with you, attending events. It's one thing just to attend the events, but, attend at the entrance, make it known that, hey, you're here to be in here, for them to listen and learn. We don't have all the answers, but collectively, we're going to come up with good things together. And so, the relationships really matter, and I think that trust is built through collaboration. And one of the examples that I have from this year is, everybody loves a good old-fashioned snow day, and I'm the dummy that called a snow day today. But Mother Nature threw a whammy at us at a really awful time, right at around 5:45. But one of the things that we had was remote learning days. And if we're being honest, it's really difficult for students to learn on a snow day. They want to be outside, they want to be active, they want to be doing some things. So this year, I approached the Board of Education, and I'm grateful that they thought well of it too. But we made remote learning days about service. Do something for your family that you wouldn't normally do. I mean, do the dishes, do the laundry, help a neighbor. I know that during those days it was really cold out. So I was worried that kids would get out and get frostbite, something like that. But, find a way to give back to your neighbor. And so, but that came through collaboration and just talking about how we can partner with the community as well.
As someone in their first year as superintendent at the Marysville schools, what excites you most about serving the district moving forward?
I think it's just most importantly, this is a great district. It's been high achieving. There's a lot of great programs and things in place. And what excites me the most is, okay, what can we do to make it even better? And how can we continue to collaborate collectively? This is an awesome community to call home. I'm extremely grateful to 30 years later, I'm back. And I feel blessed for that opportunity. But I think the sky's the limit here in Marysville. This is really a great place to be. And so I'm excited to spend several years, I hope, partnering and making it the best experience we can for our kids, which is what it's about.
Well, on behalf of the city and our city council, we want to thank you for just what you've done here in the first year. How about an applause for Dr. Howard tonight? And let's see. I think our girls basketball team just won the district title, did they not?
Yes, they did. They play New Albany this week, and so go Monarchs.
Go Monarchs. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Well, I would say that we saved the best for last, I think, tonight, you guys. So I'd like to ask Jessica Estep to come forward. And Jessica, I'm going to have her grab the mic here because I want her to. Can you tell everybody what you do in your real life? You know what?
I thought you were going to ask if I could get up on this stool. I'd be like, no. I work for Memorial Health. I'm the Senior Director of Business Planning and Analytics.
Awesome. How long have you been at Memorial Health?
13 years. I'm dating myself.
Okay.
Yeah, 13 years.
13 years. So now you're the chairman of Main Street Marysville, which is, it's a big deal. There's a lot going on. You saw some of it in our video tonight. What does Main Street Marysville do? Can you tell everybody a little bit about what Main Street Marysville does?
Yeah, so we're a board of volunteers. We represent the uptown business owners, local residents, the city of Marysville. We have Ashley on our board, Honda of Marysville, and Richwood Bank, and obviously the hospital, Memorial Hospital. But we all come together to kind of work towards the mission of revitalizing the uptown, strengthening it, doing everything we can to kind of get that foot traffic, and preserving, I think, that soul of Marysville, which is our uptown, during a time of change.
I'm just going to pause here before I get to my next question. If you're on the Main Street Marysville board, can you please stand or raise your hand? I know there's several. Stand. I'd like for the people that are seated to stand, raise your hand. There's several here tonight. What a great organization. Let me go to the next question, which is how can people help Main Street Marysville?
You could do the easiest thing, and that's go uptown and shop. Eat, get your nails done, get your hair done, hang out, bring a friend. Otherwise, attend our events. Main Street hosts wonderful events. We have the Easter egg hunt. The egg scramble is coming up at the end of March. That's going to be a good time. We also have Earth Day cleanup. We have Festa Fair, which everybody's fan favorite. Also Scarysville and Christmas Walk in partnership with the city's tree lighting. So come to those. Come to Iron Threads. They do tons of events. I'm always trying to find time to get there. I need to make a keychain, by the way. Or Plum Home. They host Small Business Saturday. Come to those events. Come out and it's cheers. You walk in and you know the person that's there at the register. Or join. You can join our committees. We have a website. You can get on, check them out. Come get to know us. See if you're interested, or you can volunteer for our events. So if you only have time for one thing, that'll work too. We'll be happy to have them.
I think it's getting close to the point too. This is a volunteer organization. I think we're getting very close to maybe trying to make the commitment toward a Main Street manager maybe here in the near future. Am I correct there?
Yeah, that is our goal over the next year or two, is to get a Main Street manager. We think that having that one person be the conduit that brings like the city together, the city council, uptown businesses, and the building owners, and just be that one person that everybody can go to.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving us some time tonight.
Sharing tonight, and thanks for your volunteerism and all that. How about an applause for Jessica and Main Street Marysville? Thank you very, very much. Okay, that concludes this State of the City here in 2026. I think you can find we have a lot of things going on. I want to thank City Council for their commitment, their continued commitment to the community, their passion. But I also want to thank all of you. Everybody here in some way, shape, or form contributes to this community. And I can even look at the media here a little bit tonight too, who is a part of this this evening as well. I want to thank them for the interaction that they give us and the information that they put out to the public. So I do want to take just a moment. Joe Clark here tonight. Where's Joe's right here? Joe is our new communication manager for the city. Just started a few weeks ago, in his first month, basically. But Joe is really starting to get his feet settled under him in this position. And so you're going to be seeing quite a bit coming out on the communication end of things for the city as well. Other than that, thank you for being here, and you guys have a safe trip home. Thank you.